Get the mic situated. What's up, chat? Happy Monday? What? Bro, I tell you what. No days off, man. So we went right on through the weekend. Saturday, Sunday. Mondays just feel like another day. But it is the start of the week. Professionally. One more time, though. One more time. I love this effing song. How'd you guys do last night? Alright, that's enough. We'll turn it off. How'd you guys do last night? Last night, landmines everywhere, right? Was able to walk through the fire on Saturday last night. Got me. Lots of bums out there. Namely, the extremely high-owned value chalk, Dennis Smith Jr., the highest owned player on the slate, went full-on Celtic chalk guard mode. We pull up that game, show you guys what he accomplished. 12 fantasy points in 15 minutes played. Obviously, a lot of us had different ideas of how that would go. Saban Lee, ironically enough, 10x the min price on DraftKings. If you took some shots on him, kudos to you. Sid in the Discord actually made some mock some mock lines, jamming in some studs that we were talking about, and a couple of those lines involved Saban Lee, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. But yeah, he absolutely tanked. And another guy I leaned on pretty bullishly was DJ Augustine. Thought process being, could I get 30 minutes against the league worst defense? He got 15 and 27 minutes, so at least the minutes were there for him. But the production, not so much. Giannis and Chris Middleton dueling 60 bombs. Middleton was 40% owned on FanDuel, so people stayed at the slot machine. They were not worried about Middleton's recent downpour of lackluster games. So kudos to you guys for having those two. Otherwise, Trae Young, the beast of the night, a very nice 69 DKP. Then Giannis, then James Harden, then Vucevic, Middleton, the big cat, Ernie Ladd, Chris Middleton, Karl-Anthony Towns has his best fantasy games, or best fantasy game, I think, of the season. He might have had a monster at the beginning of the season. And then they fired Ryan Saunders after the game, and then had another, I don't know, man. There was some sneaky squirrel stuff going on to already have your interim coach picked out from a different organization. But T-Wolves is going to be under new management going forward. That might create maybe some different rotations, the guy might try to come and shake it up a little bit. So look out for that. If you guys missed that, T-Wolves did fire their head coach, Ryan Saunders, and they're moving on to an interim coach. In the meantime, Paul George, 57 DKP, 33 minutes played. Jared Allen, chat. I remember somebody in chat yesterday was all over Jared Allen, and I wasn't as warm and fuzzy on him. I didn't lose yesterday at center. But if you stuck with Jared Allen, 42 minutes and just an insane stat line, 56 fantasy points. So, man, who was in chat yesterday? Speak up. One of you guys were on Jared Allen hard, and I was just like, I'm not on him. But if you on him, go with it. I hope you stuck with it. Big play there. Kawhi and Paul George, nice little handcuff. And Kyrie and Harden, I think, were a nice little handcuff. So several good plays. There's really not any shockers up here in the top, really top 20. I guess Halliburton dropping 50 might be a little eccentric, but I did have some of that. I figured one of him, Hield, or Fox as shooters would have to show up and show out, and he had 8 assists to boot on 20-plus real points. I had some Fournier, too. It was really just the value. I was so invested in some bad chalk value, Augustine and DSJ. Otherwise, not an extremely shocking slate results-wise, but it is what it is. Let's see. I don't see Raj in the voice chat, but Raj was yesterday promised me. He was like, I'll be there tomorrow, Gun. He's not here yet, but we are live on YouTube. Guys, I appreciate you guys filling up the chat fast. We're already sitting at 50. We'll be over 100 in no time. What's up, Josh Jennings? Solid picks. Crispy. Lorenza. Sean V. Bethany Stevens. Josh Jennings. I'm liking these 6 to 7 game slates. It's a sweet spot. We love 6 to 8 game slates are really my wheelhouse. I feel like I can really do my best work, especially for multi-entry on FanDuel, if nothing else. The 6 games, I feel like I can control my feel and my reach a little bit more, and I don't have to get stretched too thin like I do 10, 11 game slate, trying to keep up with news and supply the spreadsheet and all that stuff. What up, Damian Carnahan? It's my best lineup yesterday. I got 368. Had Murray, Garland, SGA, Powell, Middleton, Gallinari, Revenge, Al-Farouq Aminu, Julius Randle, Jared Allen. Julius Randle, somebody I also had a lot of, and he was kind of underwhelming. But, yeah, man, Jared Allen did it. Shane, Porzingis, GTD. No Boogie. What's up, Bethany? Do you always wear the same thing? Yeah, I only have one set of clothes. I'm hoping sooner or later I can win some money from this whole DFS thing and I could buy a new set. No, my closet's full of just black clothes, and I like the Yankees a lot, so I wear the hoodie. And full disclosure, I sleep a lot, so today I got up a couple times, really checking on Top Shot stuff. I got up at 1 to set up the spreadsheet and stuff, thinking that I had to stream at 2, but the first game was at 8. I guess I didn't account for the COVID scratch. So I was like, well, there's no point in streaming at 2. So I set the stream at 3, and I went and took another nap. So you wake up with sleep hair with 30 minutes until you go live. You can cover it up with the hoodie, man. It's a good life. I would hate to have to be, doing makeup and stuff. Dennis Smith Jr. chalk in 2020. I faded that script so hard. Yeah, that was wild. Josh Jackson turned it up too. Yeah, faded DSJ for Rose and got the same result. No, you were on the pivot, but it didn't happen. What are you gonna do? Oh man, you guys are wild. I can't even keep up, man. I love you guys. What's up, Johnny Thins? What's up, Gunnington? Draymond got ejected. Okay, so Draymond got ejected with like 30 seconds left, right? He definitely threw, though. He definitely threw. Pete says Middleton slot machine was sweet. Luke Walton is terrible. Powell and MPJ were terrible. A Saban Lee play. I looked at him and he wasn't getting minutes. And then boom, Chalk was out. Like, what are you gonna do, man? I definitely I'm not. We don't get results orientated off of weird stuff like Saban Lee happening, What are you gonna do? What's up, Giuliano? How we doing, boys? How we doing? I'll double check the Discord. Oh, we do have Raj. All right, we'll bring in Raj. Let me make sure we're mic'd up. We are mic'd up.
Yo.
Oh, you gonna try this whole podcasting thing? No, that's crazy.
We back in the building, back ever long week of work. But yeah, good slate today. Got some news to think about. Should be a fun one.
Mm-hmm. Put them in rotation tonight. All right. Chat. 6 games, man. Should be easy. Should be fun. Raj, you make money last night, or did you play Dennis Smith Jr.? Enjoying the losers?
I played DSJ. Yeah, I played DSJ and just fell out of the fish and fell for the trap. What can you do? It was a 3-entry max, so it's like everyone played him, so he still.
Yeah, I saw on DK he was like 75% owned. He was like 50 on FanDuel. Normally, I just don't have to play value guards on FanDuel, and I just win the position. But yesterday was tight. I had a lot of JaVale McGee on FanDuel too, and he had like 5. And then
that's weird. Why'd you end up with so much JaVale McGee?
I mean, he was 22% owned. Like, he wasn't a dart throw. He just pretty much lives at 20 fantasy points, and I was just trying to take a 20. Did not get
I
to
had
20.
Jared Allen, which was great, but
Yeah.
what can you do when all these other value guys just kind of did whatever? And what do you call it? DJ Augustine kind of screwed me too.
Yeah. So Augustine, I feel like I want to justify playing Augustine because, hey, he got 27 minutes against the Kings, and Dennis Smith Jr. got 12. But he still sucked. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh, yeah. Raj, you on Top Shot yet? Chat, we on Top Shot? I feel like every day I wake up, and more NBA players are tweeting about Top Shot. More people are on it. I've actually decided that I will accept Top Shot as payment for VIP.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't think. I'm just saying, like, people are able to exponentially multiply their initial Top Shot investment, and if they want to pay with the DeMarcus Cousins Cool Cat card for a year pass, go right ahead. Like, I'm fine with it. I'm knee deep. Oh shoot, I'm chest deep in Top Shot right now, man. I've turned $15 into almost $6,000 in like 2 months, dog. That's the dumbest. That is so dumb. And then I'm sitting on this monster and hope in a week, that $15 might be $15K, maybe even $20K, because I've never seen a market move like this, dog. Like, I feel like
you bought other cards with the money you made from the first pack.
Right, yeah, $15 for the initial Cool Cats pack, which, by the way, my first pack was like the dumbest pack I've ever seen, and it involved a James Wiseman dunk and a Tyrese Halliburton three-pointer. And I probably sold those for a combined $600. Today, those two cards combined for over $2K. So that's the market activity. And hindsight's 2020, but it's just like I feel like I'm living the Bitcoin life in a 6-month span. Like, it's so wild.
Yeah, returns are pretty insane.
Strider people have told me Top Shot's a scam. People have lied to you. What up, Russ? What up, Richard Liu? Had a lot of McGee too. Yeah, it was tough. Like, again, plays like that kind of makes some sense. Johnny Thin says, Raj the GOAT. Oh, my.
Talk about it.
Kevin Mathers resigned as Mariners president CEO. Yeah, you can't really say that. He said 2 of his prospects were, like, not good at speaking English. And I'm sure there's more context to it, and there was other stuff to it, but it just did not blow over well, and you probably shouldn't say that. Need to get a pack for absolutely get a pack first. Everyone that's been asking me to jump on Top Shot, my humble experience and advice would be to don't even deposit until you are in a queue, and get a pack. And it's just like a DMV. You show up, you click a button. If you're lucky, you get a number to buy a pack, and then for some reason, some of these cards are worth a bajillion dollars, and some of this stuff is just like no rhyme or reason. It's just which way is the wind blowing. All right, let's go buy that guy. There's like Top Shot touts are developing on Twitter, and they start pumping cards and artificial inflation. Like it's that type of stuff. So I'm not getting into that side of things. I'm just really just flipping challenges and stuff like that. W. Jeremy says McCall, Bridges, Ayton, or Winslow at a bio. I want to do some research on what we might expect minutes wise for Winslow. I kind of had a low expectation, being that he just came back, but since there's a game of sample size, we'll dig into that a little bit when new packs come out. Yeah, packs are kind of random except the promo packs. Can't deposit. I wouldn't deposit anyway unless I knew I was getting a pack. Anyway, we got some NBA to talk about. 6 games on tonight's slate. You know the drill, chat. Throughout the duration of this stream, we will be referencing the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. If you guys want access to this, you can go to RunDFS.com, get signed up for a VIP pass, and you'll unlock access to the spreadsheet. the RunDFS.com VIP Discord, and then, of course, the pre-lock voice chats. And as aforementioned, you can pay with some Top Shot cards, so DM me on Twitter if you want to make that happen. First game tonight, though, it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, so an hour later than usual lock. A little bit of extra time to relax. It is the Chicago Bulls at the Houston Rockets. Actually, let me stop for a second. Let me see if Labs put out that news to watch tweet. Dude, Black Cherry Vanilla Bang is so good. It's just so. It's like if this was
I'm not a big cherry vanilla guy. I like vanilla on like cakes.
It's just a combo. It's just a combo. Key news to watch as of 3 p.m. Eastern. Kristaps Porzingis questionable. Josh Richardson probable. Tyler Hero questionable. LeBron James probable. Kyle Kuzma probable. Devontae Moonlight. Graham the homie doubtful. PJ Tucker probable. And since then, Paul Millsap and JaMychal Green out for tomorrow. So is PJ Dozier. So getting back into the action. Bulls, Rockets project 35 for the Bulls. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Garrett Temple, Patrick Williams, Wendell Carter Jr. taking on John Wall, Eric Gordon, Jayshawn Tate, Daniel House, and PJ Tucker. A 226.5 total. And the visiting Chicago Bulls favorited by a point. Houston Rockets will be without Victor Oladipo, without Christian Wood, and without DeMarcus Cousins. It looks like Boogie's reign in Houston has come to an end. So here we are trying to piece together what is this team's offense. From the naked eye, Raj, it looks like John Wall, Eric Gordon, and that's it. But just out of curiosity, I want to see if we can throw some quantifiable numbers here. So I'm going to go to the on-off court tool on Fantasy Labs. I'm going to take off Christian Wood. I'm going to take off Boogie Oogie, take off James Harden, and take off Victor Oladipo, and probably just put Wall and Gordon on. I'm not even going to mess with like PJ Tucker or anything. I don't want to over dilute the sample size if there even is one, and just kind of see what comes back in terms of minutes of sample size and anything. It's only 29 minutes of sample size. This is borderline a new team. In that 29 minutes, we saw a 34% usage rate on John Wall, and him and Gordon were a point per minute. So we're going to have to like predict this one the old-fashioned way, right? PJ Tucker is never really going to be an offensive thing, right? Daniel House is kind of coin flippy. I think on the surface, you look at this Rockets team and going against one of the fastest-paced, worst defenses, outside of PJ Tucker, I probably will have lineups of 1 through 4 of the Rockets. Wall, Gordon, Tate, House. I really think there's a window where they can all kind of get there. And if not 4, then at least 3 of these starters are probably going to be solid plays. The Rockets have also promoted themselves to being a top team in terms of defensive efficiency. But again, like I don't even know if we can rely on any type of sample size on any type of stretch because they've been so carousel when it comes to starting lineups and who's active, who's out. So I'm just gonna have to like bank on this total here and kind of trust Vegas. Give me a 226 total. And I think we know who to target on the Bulls when it comes to minutes and usage. Zach LaVine, absolutely number 1. Almost 10K on FanDuel, 9,500 on DraftKings. I need that 50 fantasy points. Feel like I'm getting a bargain. And then Kobe White's at least interesting. You know, a decent chunk of minutes and shot volume will be there. Past him, there's some minutes chip in a chair cases for Garrett Temple. He's been sitting at a little over 30 minutes a game. And at this price on FanDuel, 4,600, if you can give me 25, I'll take it. And then on DK, kind of the same, but I would love a stronger shot at 30. But on the Rocket side, Raj, is it Wall, Gordon, Tate, and then ... House, and then that's it? But also have a lot of those guys, and what do you know with the Bulls?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there on Houston. I'd have Wall 1. I'd have Tate 2. You know, his peripherals, no DeMarcus Cousins. Maybe he'll play some 5. 6,600 on FanDuel. That price tag is, you know, it's getting up there, but he's playing the minutes. Should see 35 plus minutes really in this spot here with no Boogie. So give me some Tate. Give me Wall. It's 2 core guys from Houston. Gordon, I mean, he probably needs to get you 25 real life points. Very possible. Keep him in the pool.
I think you like you're brushing Gordon over. Gordon could borderline be a tier 1 play for me today.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's my third. I'd rank him number 3 for Houston as my third guy.
Number 3?
I like Tate more than Gordon today.
Dude, Gordon might be my favorite points per dollar play on this slate. I mean, on this game. Like, he has been a strong, like, at Philly. Philly is a good home defense, whatever. And Miami's Miami, crossing up with Jimmy Butler. But you're going pace up here against a bottom 5 defense. There's a good chance Gordon leads. If it ain't John Wall, Gordon could lead this team in shot attempts. Like, this could be a 20-plus shot attempt game. And I think 40 fantasy points is that out the wheelhouse. And just look how often he's giving you that 30 at this price, and especially on FanDuel, being at 5.3. Like, he has a shot to be one of my highest owned FanDuel players. And
I get you.
I think it's strong. I think this is such a strong spot.
He's going to probably be a tier 2 for me, but I mean, we're not too far apart. I mean, Tate, I think it's a double spot for him with no Boogie.
Yeah.
If Boogie says. So give me
Boogie.
him.
Boogie's out. He's not listed. He's listed out, yeah.
And then on the Bulls side, I mean, Zach LaVine's been good to me. His price tag is up there. I think he's an elite GPP play today. I think people are going to play LeBron and Luka with guys out for those teams. And I wouldn't be shocked if LaVine's the higher scorer tonight. So give me some Zach LaVine at 9-8 in tournaments. Great. Wendell Carter Jr. is interesting. He's playing the minutes, 5-4. This Houston team at center should be one to target. So, I mean, give me some of him. But other than that, other than LaVine and Carter, probably not going to touch anybody else on
Man, I think there's enough minutes and opportunity on Temple and Patrick Williams, and a little case of Thad Young. Not a big one, a little case. Let's go look at the team metrics chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. Show you guys what I'm working with when it comes to Bulls defense. First of all, the Bulls are the 4th fastest team in basketball. Houston, by the way, is sitting at 3rd. I wasn't expecting that. I thought they slowed down a little bit. And then defensive-wise, the Bulls are offering a 113 defensive rating, 113 points per 100 possessions, which is going to be good for bottom 10. So this is a really, really nice spot for some 6 to 5K players on the Rockets. And I think the real question is how bullish do you get with John Wall at 8.5 8K? Like, I like Zach LaVine as much as the next guy, but 10K for Zach LaVine on FanDuel. This isn't like DraftKings is easier for him to get to that 50, right? FanDuel, you're not going to get the double-doubles. You're not going to get 3-point bonuses. You're going to get extra taxes on turnovers. I don't know that I'm as high on LaVine as you are. He's definitely in the pool. Probably start him as a 3 and go from there. But I think that the in chat, weigh in, the balance on John Wall. I got John Wall leading the Houston Rockets in minutes. He's going to drive the Cadillac, right? If the Rockets drop 110 between points and assists, he's going to be involved in at least 50% of that somehow, if not more. How much John Wall? Tier 1? Tier 2?
It's Tier 1 for me. Tier 1.
Tier 1.
Lock him in there. Up there with John Wall, Luka, LeBron. He's right up there with those guys. It's a John Wall day. Don't get cute. Play John Wall.
And then PJ Tucker being the starting center. This is what we saw last year, and Rockets were one of the worst teams in the league against centers when it comes to fantasy points allowed. So Wendell Carter Jr. enters the conversation. Let's get caught up on chat here. Terlansky, Top Shot's going crazy. Mellow Ball, and everyone's tweeting about it. Yeah, all the NBA players are buying in on Top Shot, and they're buying in fast. And to an extent, they're part of the fish money that's buying moments and stuff like that. And we already know Mark Cuban's been involved, Logan Paul, and I'm okay with the casual millionaires buying into Top Shot because I'm just here to profit. Like, I don't care if I have all serial number 69 420s, Andre Drummonds, right? I'm just here to make some money, so I'll gladly just hunt packs for them. Ross says, John Wall plus Wendell Carter Jr. locked. I think that's a really strong correlation. I'm there on that. Wendell Carter Jr. I think we didn't maybe give him the highlight or the spotlight as much as maybe he deserves to be looked at. But he's a couple games in now from coming back. His sea leg should be under him. 33 minutes against Sacramento. You would like to see more of a point per minute efficiency there, but I think rebounds. I think this is a positive enough matchup. I want more shot attempts. 7 shot attempts against Sacramento Kings when your team drops $120 is a little bit underwhelming, but I guess that's the Zach LaVine live and die, right? So maybe Levine and Carter aren't a positive correlation coexisting. But at this price in this matchup, if you're going to have a shot at 30 minutes against this Rockets front court, you should be able to outsize them and maybe get double-digit rebounds. Debo says PJ opens up so much at min price. Guys. Okay. I don't want to be that guy that puts people off of PJ Tucker, but relax with PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker could be projected for 42 minutes tonight, and he might not make my pool. But he is min priced. I get it. I understand.
Which is why I like Tate so much too. Playing next to Tucker, Tate couldn't get all the shots. Tucker's not going to take anything away from him. So,
yeah. Lorenzo says Gordon's the best point per dollar play probably on the slate without Boogie and Depot. I can't speak in context of the rest of the slate, but I agree strongly with the infatuation with Gordon here. I think he's really cheap on both sides. He should be their leading. He should be the leading scorer. If not, he'll be number 2. It's between him and Wall. Like those two probably combine for 50, 60 real points at least, if they do what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Give me all the Patrick Williams and Temple for all the money, Lorenza. I'm gonna have those guys shipping chairs for minutes. I'm not gonna go over bullish, but I think they're fine. Shadow says Yoka and Wall over 24.5 points or Gordon over 20.5. I would probably gamble on that Gordon 20.5. Eric Gordon DKP by game log without Victor. I can't type today. Oladipo last. Let's go last 10 games. So points-wise, 17, 24, 23, 20, 33. So he's got knocking on the door in all but one of his last, 5 games in that scenario. All of these are on the road. We can forgive at Philly, I guess. I don't know. I'd probably take a shot at the over 20.5. I think we also account for no DeMarcus Cousins. I'd probably gamble with the over. It's tough though. I think that's priced appropriately. Heck nah. To Tate on FanDuel. Love the game stack on DK. Tier 2 for me on FanDuel. Gordon's a better scorer than Wall. He's probably a better shooter. But Wall can still burst to the rack, layups and dunks. I don't know. I think they're both fine. I think I'm gonna meditate a little bit on what I do with my Wall exposure. Is it gonna be a 1? Is it gonna be a 2 on FanDuel? On DK, I think he has a strong case for being a 1. All right, let's matriculate on to the next game here. The Dallas Mavericks hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. Project starting 5 for the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja Morant, Grayson Allen, Kyle. The Andersons got tickets to the game? How'd they get tickets? Brandon Clark, Jonas. Oh, you know what? I meant to not do that. Jonas Valanciunas up against Luka Doncic, Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, and Kristaps Porzingis. Me and Chronic were having a conversation the other day about some of my bits, and I was like, the next time Kyle Anderson's on the slate, I'm going to not do the bit. And I guarantee you there's going to be a couple people in the chat that'll be like, yo, what are we doing here? Kristaps Porzingis is questionable. Usually when Porzingis is questionable, I have my doubts. So keep an eye on that because that is shape-shifting information. If Porzingis isn't able to go, Luka Doncic is already a strong play, becomes that much stronger as he gets that much more responsibility. I got Doncic at 37 minutes. He's a cover boy on the stream, and there's probably a great chance that he leads the entire slate in fantasy points. But at his price, he pretty much has to. If Porzingis is unable to go, there's a couple of cases to be made here for this front court. Guys like Kleber, Dwight Powell, maybe Willie Cauley-Stein draws a start. He did start in a couple games earlier this season without Porzingis, but I think Kleber was out for a stretch too. So I'm curious to see how they go. They could also do a lineup where they stretch out DFS, Dorian Finney-Smith to the 4, and put Tim Hardaway at the 3. So I can't really predict what Rick Carlisle has in mind. And the fact that this is a home game for Dallas makes me a little bit skittish on having this news in time. But it is only 30 minutes after main slate lock. So I do think there's a strong chance we have this information before main slate lock. On the Grizzlies side, I've got 10 guys in the rotation. Justice Winslow came back for him. He's still a little bit cheap. I got him right about 20 to 24 minutes, 23. I think that's a chip in a chair per minute. Desmond Bane let me down. I kind of targeted him last game thinking he would draw the start. He ended up not starting. I think Anthony Melton started instead. But now we have Grayson Allen back in the mix. Colin Anderson back in the mix. So I'm probably going to have a low exposure to this game outside of some Luka. And then if I'm running a comb through it, I mean, Raj, do you land on these Grizzlies often? I think Colin Anderson on DK at 6'6" still has a case. But when the Grizzlies are healthy and they're getting Brandon Clark back, there's a lot of 20 minutes for everybody, and John Morant maybe gets 32. So, like, I'm willing to step back and say, all right, the only guy here I think could still drop an impactful 50. We've seen centers against the Mavericks get off, and then if Porzingis is out, that matchup probably gets a little bit better anyway. So maybe Jonas Valanciunas could be 1.5x per minute in 28 minutes. But I'm, like, not going to go to the ends of the earth. The flat earth. I don't want to fall off the edge and play a lot of these Grizzlies. What are you doing here?
Yeah, it looks like on the Memphis side, I might just full fade Memphis here. I mean, like you said, when the guys get healthy, Justin Winslow's back. Grayson Allen missed last game, and he's back too. Been getting some minutes. Yeah, he missed the Phoenix game, but they got some rotation. They got to play guys minutes. Dylan Brooks is out, so maybe that's okay for Allen, but. Other than Moran and J-Val, I mean, if you want to take a shot on Justice Winslow at 3,900 on FanDuel, play 21 minutes, maybe he plays 24, 25. He can get there for you, sure, but none of these guys are core pieces. If you fall into him, you fall into him. You mentioned J-Val, 50-point upside against Dallas centers with no Porzingis. I'm with that. John Moran, 7,200. I don't think people really get to him. I think the most common, like John Wall's going to take up some point guard ownership, Luka, so John Moran might fall through the cracks here. Dallas is probably going to play no defense this game. Losing Porzingis is a step down from already porous defense. So take shots on them, sure. But Dallas side, Luka, I think, is just a lock. 11-2. If you want to start every lineup with Luka, I'm with it. With no Porzingis, I think Tim Hardaway is the trap. He's the guy sometimes we play. I don't want to play him. He's 4,800, so he is cheap, coming off of 3 straight down games. I mean, it's like him and Eric Gordon are almost the same player. That's why I'm not so high on Eric Gordon.
Whoa.
Tim Hardaway Jr. and Eric Gordon are the same guy. You're valuing
No. Absolutely freaking not. Absolutely. Put some on it. Would you want to bet on Eric Gordon's prop? What 20? What do you want?
I mean, today I think they're
don't give me that today bull crap. Don't give me that today bull crap. This season, once you move James Harden off the team and you're having games staggered with either Wall or Oladipo, not both, Eric Gordon has been consistent as a cucumber.
Yeah, I mean, you take Luka off the team and you put somebody out there. Tim Hardaway's better. I mean,
and he's not been as consistent. No, he's not been as consistent because Jalen Brunson's in the mix. It's just not. You're wrong. You're wrong. Hold it.
They're just catch and shoot guys who get glorified a little bit. If you're going to play Eric Gordon today, you probably want some Tim Hardaway with no Porzingis. He could be the second leading scorer on his team.
No.
Yes, he could.
No. Those are not.
He can take the second most shots too. Yes,
Stop. If Porzingis is out, it's just as is. And you have Hardaway at 30 minutes, and you have Eric Gordon against the Bulls at 30 minutes. Gordon's always a tier 1. Hardaway's always a tier 3. They never come close. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, this is against.
Stop. We've seen the Mavericks beat Luka and everyone else, and Luka will have 60, and everybody else can have 25 or less. Like, it is not the same.
Chalk fail every time. He's gonna get you.
No, it doesn't. It literally doesn't. Every time. You're living in the past, bro. You're living in the past.
You're living on some hot games.
Yeah, I get the thought of what you're saying. If you're thinking of Eric Gordon from last season or whatever, sure. There was several times where he was chalk value and it just didn't hit for whatever reason, and a lot of it's because James Harden was on the team, and it becomes a volatile situation. Look at their scoring right now, and then just look at what Gordon's put together in his campaign this season without James Harden and only having one of Wall or Depot. And now you take out Boogie, an offensive big man, replace that with more PJ Tucker. Is not the same. Tim Hardaway Jr.'s a level of consistency this season in the same opportunity is not the same as Eric Gordon. It's just not. Now, if you're telling me you want to play some Hardaway because Porzingis is out, go for it. But I don't think they're on the same level. They're not on the same level.
I think they're very similar players.
I would.
Believe that.
All right. So I mean, if Porzingis ends up getting rolled out, would you make a prop bet with me over who scores more, Gordon or Hardaway?
I'm not that confident in it.
Well, no. Put your money where your mouth is.
I'm not rolling or dying with Tim Hardaway. He's a thought, though, and he could be the second least scorer on this team.
He could, but so could Jalen Brunson. So could Josh Richardson. Like, it's not. He's not. What do you mean, Jalen Brunson? Jalen Brunson's broken slates several times this season. What are you talking about, fam? No.
Luka's out, or if like Tim Hardaway's out, or Josh Richardson's out. When Hardaway, Josh Richardson in, Jalen Brunson is an afterthought. Stop.
Okay.
Stop.
If you honestly think that, then you haven't played every slate like me.
I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see.
It's not a wait and see. You can't just make stuff up and me not call you on it. That's my job.
I'm speaking facts.
You're not. You're literally not. Anyway,
you really mentioned Jalen Brunson like he's some like you really compare Jalen Brunson to Tim Hardaway Jr. without Luka. What in the world? Jalen Brunson is a backup point guard.
Raj.
He's not getting it done.
Raj.
I'm telling you.
Do I really have to do this to you?
You can bring up your stat muse, select all your stats. Bring up Tim Hardaway's. Bring up the usage rates.
Stop.
Bring up the usage.
You're hurting my head, bro.
I'm telling you.
Oh my god. Let's bring up the Chicago game. I'm telling you, there's a game where Brunson was single-handedly destroying the player stats. It's not this one. By the way, in that game, Brunson was better than Tim Hardaway, who shot 4 for 15, while Brunson shot 11 for 17. Oh my! Who would have thought that? Holy!
1 game sample size.
No, fam. You're eating you have such a giant L being delivered to you, and you just don't want to open the door because you know on the other side of that door is just a massive L. Anyway, I ain't got time for it. Finish your little wrap up.
Maxi Kleber, I think if he starts, probably a premier value play. Don't mind him. You mentioned DFS could start at the 4, which is true. I'll probably like DFS more. Depending on who starts.
What are you talking about? Dog, Luka has literally started how many games without Porzingis, and the rest of the Mavs are just irrelevant. Like you're about to roster the whole team if Porzingis is out.
Who they've been playing? I think I'd like to target Memphis a little bit. So I would have. So you wouldn't play Kleber if he started at 3,900.
He might be in the mix, but I'm not about the full stack Mavs on. Being contingent on just Porzingis being out.
I'm not going to have Tim Hardaway, DFS, and Kleber all together, but with Luka, I'll probably have one other Mav in a lot of lineups. I could say that. Whether it's DFS, Kleber.
I mean, that's fine, but that's way more volatile because you don't know who the number 2 is. It's not a concrete number 2 guy for the Mavs. It could be anyway. It could be J-Rich, it could be DFS, it could be Brunson. At least on the Rockets, you know Eric Gordon's going to be a top 2 real point scorer 90% of the time.
I hear you.
You hear me, but are you listening?
I hear you. That's questionable. But yeah, I mean, Luka, tier 1, mentioned those guys, Memphis, Ja Morant, J-Bell.
That statement.
Let me know, chat. Let me know about Tim Hardaway. Used to drop 30 a game on the Hawks.
Chat's tearing you apart right now. I love it.
Chat hate too.
Raj is watching another NBA. Anthony Gibson. Brunson has destroyed slates. Yup, he's even destroyed slates coming off the bench. He has. Boot this fool off the show and move on. All right, let's move on to the next game. But Luka, no matter what, Porzingis being in or out, Luka is like a premium play today. Finding some value to fit him in.
For sure.
No, not over for sure, because LeBron's in a nut matchup too. Yeah. And on FanDuel, you better believe Twitch.tv/Gundecker99 is going to find some ways to have Luka and LeBron. On DK, it's going to be a little more difficult, but on FanDuel, we making it happen, Cap. Important the Trailblazers at the Phoenix Suns. Next game on the docket, project starting 5 for the Blazers. Dame Dollar making money is not new to him. Gary Trent Jr., Derrick Jones Jr., Robert Covington, they hate us because they ain't us. Cantor taking on Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Frank Kaminsky, DeAndre Ayton. Damian Lillard did not make the Western All-Star starting team. The voters decided that Luka and Steph Curry were more deserving. Damian Lillard has a chance to show out here in one of the toughest matchups you can ask for individually. The Phoenix Suns at Phoenix. Chris Paul defense 10-5 to 10-9 on Lillard. While the matchup is far from optimal, Damian Lillard has consistently been one of the highest owned players on every slate since CJ and Nurkic and everybody went down. And tonight, he'll be a fraction of that ownership in lieu of Luka, in lieu of LeBron. Is he an elite tournament play at perhaps under 20% on a 6-game slate?
He's definitely going overlooked today. I think he might even be like a 10%er on FanDuel.
Either
point
side.
Guard spot. I mean that point guard spot again. Luka, Ja Wall, if you're gonna pay up for studs, even the Utah spot. I mean, LeBron's gonna be up there. Again, Luka. I mean, who else? I mean, people might even play Jimmy Butler if Tyler Hero gets ruled out.
Even if Hero was in, Butler's just been so good.
Yeah,
so
Butler's been high on. So I mean, Lillard. This is the type of night where a low-owned Lillard could score you 50 real-life points and get the fight. Coming off a 73 and a 60 bomb. You mentioned one of the toughest matchups against the Phoenix Suns team. They're all there. But I think if you're in large field tournaments, if Lillard's where you can get leverage over the field and you can win some.
4 games in a row, Lillard's hit double-digit assists on top of 30-plus real points. Fields walking backwards. Now, in Lillard's, to be devil's advocate here, argue the other side, his strength of schedule has been pretty solid 4 games in a row. Dallas Mavericks been getting lit up as of late to opposing point guards. OKC's been strapped. And then the Pelicans and Wizards, bottom 5 defenses in the league. So perhaps the strength of schedule differs just enough here to be walking backwards at 11K. I mean, 11K, we're talking, hey, we probably need that 60 to feel like we don't have a shot if we faded you. And even that's not even true. At this price range, we're talking, can you be the highest scorer on the slate over the Lucas, over the LeBrons, guys like that? And there's no right or wrong answer as of now. But obviously, if we're just going check boxes and matchups and all that, this is going to be a pace down game. Both teams play under 100 pace rating. And Lillard's got his work cut out for him going against the Suns defense. Probably going to cross up with a lot of Chris Paul, a lot of Mikal Bridges. So, is what it is. If we didn't love Lillard, do we justify that with maybe some more shots on Gary Trent or Canner or somebody like that? Or do we stay away from the Blazers just as a whole? I don't really think anyone's priced egregiously low on the Blazers, like 7K for Covington on FanDuel. I'm pretty sure I'm good on that one, dog. Canner's like okay, you can see some success there, but it's not a median range of outcome for him to drop 40 plus. If you had 20 or less lineups, do you full fade? And I would assume in one lineup you're full fading Blizzards, right? Like Blazers, right? So I don't know. I will say this:
20 lineups just playing Lillard, I think.
Okay. The Suns side, a little bit more intriguing because the Blazers defense, not good. Everyone on the Suns probably has a plus matchup. I think Ayton's a fun pivot to Cantor himself. Cantor might be a little bit more trendy just because of him being Cantor and being a little bit more flashy this season as a whole. But DeAndre Ayton has a case too. At 6,400 on FanDuel, we don't need 45 plus. We could live in the 30s, and it could be a solid stocking stuffer to get the job done. Jay Crowder's 4,600 on FanDuel. Bridges is 5.5 on FanDuel. Booker and Chris Paul become a little bit of a stronger debate. But like I said, this Portland Blazers defense is really, really bad. And I definitely think there's even a little bit of blowout potential here on on the Blazers, on the back of the Blazers defense being so sus, but the Blazers against guards in general have been bottom tier of the league. So I think there's at least a loose case for some Paul and Booker, and if Dame's getting no ownership, Paul and Booker are getting no ownership, and this game might just float off into the sun. And I think there are some solo shots I would take on the Suns in deep field tournaments. And Jay Crowder is kind of speaking to me on FanDuel. I do think we can get some juice out of that. Let's get caught up on chat before we move on to the next
Chris Paul, anytime he's got more than 30 minutes, like his past 5 games, he's smashed for you.
Yeah. No, he's had I'm worried about the Blazers keeping this game close. If they have an answer for Lillard, then the Blazers are dead, right? Like
What's the answer for Lillard? I just think Lillard's kind of.
You try to bootstrap him with Paul and Bridges. I get it. Lillard's Lillard. I'm just saying, like if you have an answer for Lillard, then this game scares me. Let's get caught up on chat though. Raj out here trying to lose this stream likes. That analogy is like saying that rather than playing Porzingis at center, I'm going to roster PJ Tucker for the same upside. Ooh, Russ.
No, that's not the same.
Hardaway won't make the player pool. I'm with that. Did they start a Canadian basketball league? What has Raj been watching?
I mean, we did create basketball. Technically, the NBA is the Canadian basketball.
All this stuff. We did create basketball.
Say, yeah, we did do that. We did do that.
We did create something, and you Americans did it better.
Nah, y'all just stole it from us, like you've done other countries and other people from other countries.
Wow! Holy little innocent fantasy basketball stream just got crazy. What up, Tall? CP3 is gonna bring it to Lillard, but Lillard's the challenge is Marquea. I'm digging at it. Chad, are you guys doing anything with Lillard here? If you guys had 20 lineups, do you make some room for some Lillard shots? Do you core some values and just rotate the Brons and Lucas and Lillards? Because I gotta be honest, if I'm making a checklist of just how I make my pool, I mean matchup total, but especially matchup is like so important to me. And Lillard is not winning that category versus what Luka might have, and especially what LeBron might have. And even at that point guard spot, I mean, we still want to prioritize Wall points per dollar. So Dame is just kind of gonna get pushed to the wayside. And like I said, it absolutely could be a mistake at the end of the night.
Dame and Chris Paul together, could outscore Luka and John Wall together, and obviously John Wall, Luka's going to be way more popular. But I think Lillard and Chris Paul together outscores them more often than people think.
How often? 100 simulations.
I think like 35% of the time. I just think like I get Portland's not great, but again, you mentioned the blowout risk. I think this game stays close, 4-quarter game. Could end up being more of a shootout than we think.
Maybe. Shane says Sarge likes the Blazers as well. We got some Dario Sarge love, 3,600. All right, I can see it as a punt. What's up, Adam? How you doing, bub? C. Carter, I do like Crowder too. Craig Fields, Chris Paul, and DK is the nuts for me. 7,000 to 800 for a 50 spot.
He's 75 on FanDuel.
It's a good matchup. It's absolutely a good match. I mean, double all day here for Paul. I think the Paul, like, interesting 1v1, right? Yesterday we talked about Jamal Murray versus Kyrie Irving. Same price range. John Wall versus Chris Paul. Like, in tournaments. Right, we're talking 8K versus that's a $200 gap. The Bulls matchup is nice. Chris Paul's matchup is great. Like, I want to believe that there's more pressure on John Wall to drive that team to victory than there is Chris Paul. But yeah, he's been serviceable in some matchups lately. 56-48, 2 of his last 3 games. Just a blowout in Memphis, and he was well over a point per minute in that one. Again, the checklist, if we're talking matchups, I think it has to give me Wall over Paul. Maybe put Paul Wall together and start selling everybody grills.
Talk about it.
Camilla Terry, Maine. And there's going to be like an influx of... That's not an old man joke. Shut up.
It sounds like an old man joke.
What? Paul Wall? Come on. You're Canadian, ain't you? You don't get it.
Facts. Old man joke.
It's not an old man joke.
It's like when like it is like kind of old man joke.
It's a oh my god, pop culture reference from 20 years ago, whatever.
Old man joke, exactly.
It's not an old man joke. You don't have to be old to understand who Paul Wall was. God dang it. Anyway, please stat me Sarge against Portland. I feel like Dario Sarge against anyone would get a little bit context will get lost in that.
Yeah. You need when he was in the Sixers, the guys would be out. He'd have big games.
Yeah. Aiton sneaky priced around him, but that Canada has 3 great things: maple syrup, hockey, and the band Rush. That's it.
Shout out Drake. Shout out to the Beavers. Shout out Weekend. You got greats out here.
EB says, what about Book? Devin Booker, again, like, solid spot for him. And I'm not pushing back. I can't push back on these guys. I'm checkboxing more benefits and stuff and for guys like Wall, for Gordon, whatever. Yeah, Devin Booker gives you another 30 real point game, a couple peripherals. Like, I get it. I don't know. I'm just not fully enamored by the Suns here.
One of those guys go off. Like one of the Suns, Aiton, Bridges, Booker, or Paul go off, but like all of them together, probably not.
What is today, Monday? I will say that Damian Lillard does seem like one of the type of people. If you get snubbed, he's gonna make it a point to go out there and ball a little bit. So
I'm sure y'all wish y'all messed up.
Yeah, so if you can drop a big game on this matchup. Let's move on to the next game here. Miami Heat at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Project starting 5 for the Heat: Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy G buckets, and the G stands for gets. It stands for gets, Raj. He gets buckets. Kelly Olynyk, Bam Adebayo taking on SGA, Theo Maledon, Lou Dort, Darius Bazley, Isaiah Roby. Got 212 total here. 7-point spread in favor of the visiting Miami Heat. Al Horford out on this one. Roby, next man up. I've been playing Roby religiously whenever he's able to next man up. And I believe he's still power forward eligible on FanDuel. However, he's being tasked with one of the toughest matchups. His price, 46.49. 25 is about what I want. I don't even know if that's like a median range of outcome here. So I might be low on Roby. I also just might be low on the Thunder. SGA has an interesting case to be made. I talked him up yesterday, but I think I might be down on the Thunder here. We got one of the lowest total. I think the lowest total on the slate so far. Down on the Thunder. I will look at the Heat. Tyler Hero was officially questionable. Let me see if I can get an update on that. Miami. Tyler Hero. Q. You ever have cheesecake and bang for breakfast?
That's a weird combo. I do love me some cheesecake. I do love it, even though dairy doesn't.
Good, yeah. A good slice of New York style cheesecake.
Oh yeah. So I like the cherry on top. Though. I like my cheesecake, like kind of just like plain cheesecake.
Tyler Hero did not play the second half of Saturday's game, and Coach Eric Spoelstra called it a hip pointer. His status likely hinges on his ability to get through shoot-around. So managers should check for updates. Fantasy managers should check for updates. So questionable with a hip. Now, when Tyler Hero was unable to play the second half of that game, you know what happened, Raj? Huh? Do you know what happened in my tournaments on a night when I was playing Steph Curry, who got ruled out minutes after luck because of an illness? On a night when I thought LaMelo Ball couldn't miss. You know what happened? I'm looking up in my tournaments, and Kendrick Nunn is staring me in the face with like a 40 bomb. And I was like, I hate you, Kendrick. I hate you. 40 minutes for Kendrick Nunn against the Lakers. 45 fantasy points. 27 real points. If Tyler Hero can't go, and we're still without Goran Dragic, Kendrick Nunn is afforded that opportunity. Yes, they have Gabe Vincent and Duncan Robinson, but none of those guys are really fill the role that Nunn does. And I think if Tyler Hero can't go today, Kendrick Nunn plays potentially 40 minutes again and probably becomes trendy. And at 5'6", 5'7", if I played Chalk Nunn and he just got 25, it's not the end of the world, knowing that 35 is probably a little bit more of a median range outcome just because of the extra minutes and opportunity. So that's something to watch. Jimmy Butler. What am I hearing? We
My bad.
hot mics here. What are we doing? Jimmy Butler 9-2 on both sides. I definitely think Jimmy Butler deserves strong points per dollar consideration today because really since coming back at the end of January, his game log has been a model of tournament consistency. Against the Lakers, just 43 fantasy points, but again, not the end of the world. Now it's probably his worst game since coming back, and his team just dropped 96 real points. But there was a lot of 44.5s or better, and I'm willing to pluck that at Utah out because at Utah is literally the worst matchup you can ask for. So outside of that Utah game and a 43 against the Lakers, this has been 50, 44.5 or better for Jimmy Butler. And at 9,200, I could see him kind of getting lost in no man's land price-wise if we start prioritizing Luka, and we still got Westbrook Bill on the slate. We talked about how John Wall looks like he's in a really good spot. There's so many great ways to spend up today, and I wonder if Jimmy Butler maybe isn't as high owned as he deserves to be because of his role and because of what he's been doing. But at the same time, with such a meager total, like is Jimmy Butler? How often does Jimmy Butler give me over 50? I feel like I'm gonna have to set the standard at 50, 90, at over 9K. So what do you do with Butler? And then if Tyler Hero's out, are you hitting that lock button next to Mr. Nunn's name? And then Adebayo exists too.
Would not be something I want to be too invested in whenever Nunn becomes popular. He has likelihood of failing. Point guard opportunity cost is kind of high too. Again, we mentioned Luka, we mentioned John Walls, Chris Paul, Lillard. I mean, point guard is so strong. But why not on FanDuel give it up to Kendrick Nunn? He has the upside. He can definitely get you 40 plus. Did it last game. Decent matchup. 3 entries probably don't get there. 20 entries. A little bit, but not a tier 1 by any means, even if Hero's out. Jimmy Butler.
Wait. What did you just say? None? You don't think Nunn's a tier 1 if Hero's out?
Just because the opportunity cost that point guard. Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm not going to roast you on that one. On DK, though, 5'7", a little bit more versatile.
Yeah, DK, the point guard, shooting guard, util. Is shooting guard eligible on DK?
I don't think so, but you can still do more because of
do more.
Yeah.
DK better play than he is on FanDuel. Jimmy Butler, again 9-2. If I'm paying up for those guards and I want a LeBron, I like Jimmy. Don't worry, I like Jimmy. How much I'll get to him, I don't know because I'm definitely gonna have more LeBron. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pay up for point guards. So salary wise, he might not fit because I can't play all these 9-10K guys. I need some value guys. So again, like him. Don't know how much I'd really get to him in this spot. Other than that, I mean, Kelly Olynyk has had some big games coming off down game. He's 4-4 on FanDuel, set on Oly, kind of tough, but him as a value in tournaments, I think is intriguing. He has upside. So in like 100 lineups, if you get some of him, don't hate it. OKC side, mentioned Al Horford is out. So guys like Roby might get extended minutes at center position. Bazey would get a usage bump. We mentioned probably not going to play any Diallo, but SGA at 7.5 at 7K price tag for SGA, like he has that 40 plus 50 point upside game. Is the Miami Heat on paper great defensive team? Some games they just don't get it done. So I think at 7.5 you can still play him with some studs. So if you want to fit SGA in, don't hate it. Other than that, I mean, is Roby a tier 2? Maybe if he plays
no,
he's going to avoid that situation.
Not. I am. 444 minutes of sample size with Horford off the court, SGA on the court. SGA assumes a 29.1% usage rate over a fantasy point per minute with a 34.2% assist rate. And that's interesting for us prop bettors. What's that assist rate normally? It goes from 34 to 32. All right, so I think SGA is one of those guys, he's kind of in that Devin Booker area, maybe that Chris Paul area, where he's not going to get the love that maybe his spot deserves to be in. And at 7,500 on FanDuel, like shooting guard eligible, there's still a stronger case for 40 fantasy points to be there. So I wouldn't give up on SGA. Adebayo, I think he's projecting better than my my wants exposure-wise, I got him at mid-40s. I mean, to put that in contrast, I literally have him projected for about half a fantasy point or less more than Butler. Because I guess Butler does line up against Lou Dort, and Lou Dort's kind of getting a little bit of buzz defensively, right? So I got Adebayo against not Horford. Horford stretches that front court a little bit more than what will be resulted now. So maybe Adebayo is a little sneaky. Let's get caught up on the live chat here. Mark.
One more note. This 7K price tag is elite for tournaments. Like, so you look at all the guys who are 7K.
You talking about SGA?
Jonas,
right.
SGA, Jonas, LaMelo, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, John Morant, Gordon Hayward. I mean, you could intercept if you want to build like a super balanced lineup and not pay up for Luka, LeBron, or Lillard, and just build a lineup of 7K guys. I think that's interesting.
Would be fun until Luka has 100 and
yeah, that's annoying, but it's a thought.
Right. Let's see. WS says, I feel you on the grill song. Remember, and Canada's car. Yo, Paul Wall, man. There was a nice little summer of Paul Wall. Shadow Stefan. What's up, great filibuster? Shadow Stefan says, what do you think about Bam 15.5 rebounds and assists? Well, I can tell you what the projections have Bam at. So let's go pull up Bam on the player props tab. Control F, Adebayo. And I have Adebayo at just about 6 assists and 10.4 rebounds, so 16, and your line is 15.5. So I have him projected over. So I guess if that's what you're looking for, yeah. I mean, I work at the Cheesecake Factory. DM me for the fire. What's up, Cody? Yo, cheesecake enthusiast.
Red velvet cheesecake and that Oreo cheesecake.
Somebody said, "Wow, that's fat." Guys.
I mean, come one slice of cheesecake.
You know, first of all, the last year we've just been locked up, pandemic season, right? The last week I've been snowed in, iced out. You guys have seen the news. You know what Texas is. If I want to effing bang and cheesecake for breakfast before I get live, let me live my best life, bro. Get up off me.
Big Macs today.
Get up off me. Pete says Jimmy G's on a mission. I like the Bam Jimmy handcuff with some none, especially if Heroes out. I'm with that. Russ is gun. He had that 40 bomb in the third quarter. The man was actually on pace for 60. Are we talking about Kendrick Nunn or Butler? I feel like it could be either. Sparks, what up, Sparks? I got burned with Powell and Paul yesterday. Dwight Powell and Chris Paul.
Norman Powell.
Norman Powell. Okay. Norman Powell and Chris Paul. Okay. None, Bam, Butler. You're AD in the chat. Who's the best 4,500 option in FanDuel to 50 studs? I kind of had my eye on Jay Crowder starting. We'll see. Raj doesn't like None that much. He's now a literal lock, says AD.
Opportunity cost.
Yeah. Ross says I'd play Mike Muscala over Isaiah Roby in a heartbeat at price. I don't disagree with that. If Patton was starting, I'd play him. Roll the dice, not starting. Interesting. Talk about for the Rockets. All right. None was on pace for 60. Okay. I'm at Raj on the balanced lineups. Okay. Cheesecake makes me drop a deuce and a half. Okay, buddy. I'm drinking Black Cherry Bang right now. Let's go, Damien. Yo, dude, if I ever got like a affiliate deal with Bang, it's game over, bro. It's game over. We just I'll be putting like Bang posters up, whatever. You can still go to the gym. We can. Ran 8 miles last night. Let's go. Great. 8 miles. Let's go. Bang energy drink or feeling frisky? A little bit of both. Why not both? What? Hopefully, I think my girl's sleeping. All right, let's move on to the next game. We have the Utah Jazz hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Project starting 5 for the Hornets. LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, P.J. Washington, and Cody Zeller taking on Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert. A 227.5 total and a 12.5 point spread in favor of the Utah Jazz. This game feels interesting for tournaments because I feel like the casual knee-jerk reaction is, oh, it's a blowout, I'm fading it, right? But I think there's first of all, we've seen Snyder kind of let the Jazz go a little bit deep, even in blowouts in the fourth quarter. Guys like Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson hanging out, banging out some threes. I will say, on the cusp, I'm a little bit I'm probably completely off of the Hornets, but if we're using game theory and game script, Utah Jazz, best home team in basketball and the best three-point shooting team in basketball. So if you're going to have a shot at staying in this game, maybe you hope the Utah Jazz come out, underrate their opponents, play a little bit flat. If you're going to have a shot, unfortunately, you're going to need one, Terry Rozier to keep up this streak of usage and shot volume. If we pull up what Terry Rozier's been doing, his three-point attempts, 11, 9, 10. You're going to need him to do that. And then Gordon Hayward, I'm coming home. Coming back to Utah is Gordon Hayward, a place where he built his name and his legacy. You're going to need him to play much better than 5 for 11 against Golden State, right? So on paper, I got to agree with the metrics. I got to agree with the Vegas total, the Vegas spread. Like Utah at home is just dominant, elite, the best team in basketball. Charlotte Hornets are an average team at best. You put them in this environment on the road. It is what it is. You're just kind of trying to chip and chair some scrappiness and chip and chair maybe Utah looking down on their opponents or whatever. I'm off of Charlotte. I think I full fade Charlotte. The price is maybe I hope that the price comes down like Melo bust or whatever. Like I think I'm completely off of Charlotte. But what is, like, you're the contrarian hot take guy. What's the range of outcome that on a 6-game slate we're going to need one Hornet as the key to the top later tonight? Does Rozier chuck 16 threes and somehow make 9 of them? Does Cody Zeller join the list of centers?
LaMelo Ball, 50 bomb after that down game against Golden State.
Okay. Sure.
This screams LaMelo Ball. It's a LaMelo Ball day. I mean, pair him up with Chris Paul. I mean, that's a nice little 7,600 same price. Again, he has in this matchup 50 point upside. Yes, intriguing. Mike Conley's 5,600. That's way too cheap for Mike Conley. White card against Charlotte.
I think the Jazz. I don't think there's a Jazz player you couldn't justify to me right now in terms of roster. Like Rudy Gobert could have 50 fantasy points here.
Yeah, that's the guy at center at 8,100. Yeah, I like Rudy Gobert. It's a spot. I mean, Mike Conley at that price tag, he's like a mid-tier value. He's a 7K. I think he's a 7K player, 6.5. So it seems like 1,000, 1,500 too cheap. Give me Mike Conley. Give me some Rudy Gobert. Charlotte side. Give me some LaMelo Ball.
Let's look at some recency bias DVP in terms of the Utah Jazz. Shooting guards lately. Last game, Kelly Oubre, 42 fantasy points in 37 minutes, 9 for 19 from the field. Derek White.
Curry that game.
Yeah, Curry was out. Derek White, 43.5 fantasy points, 27 minutes. Malik Beasley, 43.75 fantasy points in 37 minutes. Dylan Brooks shot 31 and 30. And then Daniel House doesn't really count as a basketball player. So Charlotte's actually been giving up top 3, top 4 amounts of recency biased fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. So Donovan Mitchell, no one's playing Mitchell, right? Oh, Mike Conley's back. Oh, I like John Wall. Like Donovan Mitchell joins that elite tier of 7 to 8, 5, 8, 9K guys. You know, him, Jimmy Butler, like guys like that. Donovan Mitchell could be right there for a big game, and he's 8,300 on FanDuel as well. I get it. There's plenty of reason to be against them, but the Utah Jazz as a team, Utah Jazz probably scored the most real points on the slate pre-flop. Is that crazy?
That's not crazy.
I don't think it's crazy. Yeah, I think the Utah Jazz could have the most real points on the entire slate. So, because of that, yeah, give me a little bit of D-Mitch.
I think Rudy Gobert is my favorite Utah guy, though. Like, he can get the 20 rebounds, 20 points here.
A couple blocks in there. This Hornets team really undersized. So, yeah, plenty of block potential to go around. And then Mike Conley, 5.66K. On FanDuel, I feel bad. Right? Because if I'm going down to 5K for a point guard today, there's a good chance I might just try and get the 40 minutes of Kendrick Nunn. But also just like might go Luka and Wall or stuff like that. Like how often do I get the Conley? So I think Conley could be a solid. Are you playing with a stapler?
No.
You're a liar.
I have no stapler.
I definitely just heard some staplage in my ears.
I have a flashlight in my head.
A flashlight?
Yeah, I was playing with a flashlight.
A fleshlight?
Flashlight. Good joke there, kid.
5,600 for Conley. I feel like I can get 30 out of him, but I just feel like at the end of the day, 30 might not mean anything for tournament. So individually, I like to play, but yeah. Bojan Bogdanovic, he's at that mid-tier area where I just feel like I'm either getting 20 or I'm getting 40. The Charlotte Hornets give up amongst the most shots amongst the most points via the three ball in basketball. So put that in perspective here. Charlotte Hornets allow the third most points per game via 3-point shots, and the Utah Jazz score the most points in basketball via 3-point shots. So this is a recipe for disaster, and Bojan Bogdanovic is one of those guys that they'll dish it out to him, let him chalk. 5 threes, 3, 6, 7, 8. So at 5-3, if I can get a case for 6 to 10 shots behind the arc, last game against Charlotte, Bojan dropped 50 fantasy points. And I think Bojan could be a sneaky key to the slate. So don't forget about him. And he is, I don't know. I definitely think you're going to need some Utah tonight. At the end of it all, there's going to be a Utah player that just went absolutely ballistic, bananas, berserk, any other adjective that starts with the letter B that indicates good plays. Chat, what are you guys doing with this one before we move on to the next one? Paul, what up, Paul? Okay, Gunna, I'm here. You can start. Conley coming off an injury. He is. LaMelo last game versus Utah, 59 fantasy points. I think LaMelo's somebody we can goldfish memory on.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely don't... I don't think we need to go crazy in terms of exposure to feel like
Did Gordon Hayward play that game when he dropped 59?
I mean, if he did, we got Graham out, but I can pull up what he did. Let's pull up StatMuse. Wait, where is StatMuse? Did I close StatMuse? I think I closed StatMuse. StatMuse. Melo's going to clown Gobert. I mean, that seems like weird.
How would he clown?
Like, that's not going to happen a lot. LaMelo Ball, DKP by game log versus Jazz last 10 games. It should just be one game, though. He got a fleshlight. He played 39 minutes in that game against Utah. 34 real points, by the way. He didn't do it like you think he did. 34 real points, and the Charlotte Hornets threw out LaMelo, Hayward, Rozier, Zeller, Graham. So that they went with that 3-guard set, and now you take out Graham here. Graham played just 11 minutes that game. LaMelo stepped up. Malik Monk led minutes off the bench, and Caleb Martin was behind him. So, yeah, man, I think Melo. How many times I think if you goldfish memory Melo, one, I guess the question is, what do you think the field is at? Chat, play along. How long do you think Melo is by the field? And do you want to leverage that? So,
Melo's definitely less than 10% today. Easy on FanDuel.
Less than 10? I don't think he's less than 10. I don't think he's less than 10. Less than 20, I think I would feel safer saying. I think he could sit around 15, 17.
I mean, I think he's lower owned.
At 7.6K, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, but he's lower owned than Luka. He's lower owned than John Wall. He's lower owned than Lillard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then you got Westbrook against LA. He might be similar to that. He's lower owned than Kendrick Nunn if Tyler Hero gets ruled out.
I don't think he is lower than Kendrick Nunn if Hero gets rolled out. Maybe. I don't know. I think LaMelo Ball is still going to be a decent, he's going to have a decent number attached to him, but he's going to be lower than usual.
Terry Rozier's on a tier.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the thing. It's at Utah. Teams go to die at Utah. We just open up, so many stud game logs, and then we look at them at Utah. And there's a couple of nuances, right? There's a Ben Simmons without Joel Embiid that goes bananas. There's going to be some people that slip through the cracks, and LaMelo is one of those guys, I think, in and of himself could be a guy that slips through the cracks. But generally, extremely bad spot for the Hornets here. And if they are getting smoked, how quick are they to put Hayward on ice? I still think Melo could play in some lopsided games, but I don't know. Rozier is a good question, though. Sean says LaMelo won't be owned at all on DraftKings. Yeah, I think on DraftKings there's a stronger case to just pivot to Wall at a similar price point. But at 7.6 on FanDuel for what he does as a player in terms of being able to stack peripherals and whatnot, there is still a case there. Paul says I'm 100% on none if Hero's out. I think it's easily justifiable. We've got one game left on the docket. We've got to take a pause for the cause and get the plugs out the way. While I'm doing some plugs, you guys want to help me out, hit that thumbs up. Double check, see if you're subscribed to the channel. We are pushing 5.2K subscribers now, something like that. So as we grow, you grow, and we grow together. Let's talk about the VIP. If you guys want access to this spreadsheet that we've been referencing throughout the duration of this broadcast, it is a perk of having a subscription at rundfs.com. When you go to RunDFS, make an account, takes a minute, click VIP passes, find a pass that's right for you. And then once you do upgrade, you can go to the onboarding thread. You'll have a link to the spreadsheet and a link to the rundfs.com VIP Discord. And you'll have instant access to everything. The Discord, by the way, looking a little something like this, gives you up-to-the-minute news for NBA news from the bot Dacker. We have a Top Shot channel here. I've been tagged in wrestling. Okay, I'll go check that out. We have a lot of channels to chat with. Every day before lock for about 2 hours, we're in the NBA voice chat. Myself, Raj, Chronic, Young C, Fish Fan, Shady. Shout out to the regulars, talking it up, chatting it up, and having some fun, right? It's not just numbers and boring stats, a lot of Top Shot discussion, a lot of life discussion. We have fun, there's a lot of laughs. So if you guys want to add that to your process, we still get the work done. We still out here making money. Do so. I've decided, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I've decided that I will accept Top Shot cards as payment. Right? I feel like, maybe I'm pushing remember like the first stores that started accepting Bitcoin? I'm gonna start accepting Top Shot as payment. So if you're sitting on something you want to buy a year pass,
personal picks for a LeBron card.
No. So yeah, if you guys want to lock into like a year or something right now, you definitely can do so. Just DM me on Twitter if you want to make a Top Shot deal, and then I would manually adjust your account. And then I guess let's talk about something that you guys can benefit from, and that's our partnership with Prize Picks. So let's take off the main display. Let's put on the banner here, prizepicks.com. If you guys are looking for better ways to reward your individual research, I think prizepicks.com is a great way to do that. It's a mixture of DFS and prop betting and parlays. A lot of people love parlays. I like parlays. You ever walk to somebody and say, hey, man, you want a parlay? And they say, hell no, I don't like parlays. Parlays are great. Ever seen Shrek? Parfaits? Anyway, whatever. That's a bit. I've been wanting to do that bit. No, I didn't. I just came up with it. PrizePicks.com. If you sign up using code GUNDACKER, they will match your deposit instantly up to 100 smackarooskies. So if you want to try $20 on a site, that 20 becomes a 40 instantly. And you can do stuff like bet on individual players' fantasy points via FanDuel scoring. You can bet on a player's individual point props, his assist props, his rebound props, and you can put between 2 and 5 of those decisions onto a parlay, and you can 1x your money, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. You can even 10x your parlay picks if you go with the power play, meaning that you know that these are locks and they're going to get you what they're going to get you. So, for instance, today, over here on Prize Picks, when it comes to FanDuel fantasy scores, you can choose to bet Eric Gordon having over 32 FanDuel points. You can choose Luka over 57 or under, by the way. You don't have to just go with the overs. Jonas Valanciunas is just at 36 fantasy points. All right, there's definitely a chip in a chair to be over, especially considering the matchup today might get a little bit better. And then if we wanted to isolate some of these numbers a little bit softer, right? We know, for instance, we talked about how the Charlotte Hornets give up a lot of threes and the Utah Jazz shoot a lot of threes. So maybe we want to go to the Jazz here. And if we don't want to play Bojan in DFS, maybe we want to bet on him just in case so we can hedge our lack of exposure. Bojan has a prop of 16.5 points. Do we think he can beat that in this matchup? You can hedge your research. You can better reward your research, so you can still get credit for the work that you're doing, the research that you're doing, and then not feel obligated to bet on Bojan. Because if Bojan drops 20 real points today, guess what? He probably doesn't win you a tournament, but he can win you a little bit of scratch over there in Prize Picks. So check him out. Code Gundecker gets you up to $100 back instantly, just for depositing with the code. Right? It's gonna be it's fun. It's profitable. Sean says LaMelo won't be owned at all on DK. What else we got? What about Mike Conley at 5,600? I think Mike Conley is one of those guys that I think could be a great individual play at his price point. But if he just got 30, 35, at least on a FanDuel state of mind, like that probably doesn't do much for the end of the night. So I think it's a good spot, but it's probably not necessary if you're trying to win 100K. James says driving point guards against Utah do work when Conley's out, but Conley's back, so no Melo for me, Gun. I don't mind that. Paul says, Gun, I'll create another YouTube page and subscribe and like from 2 different accounts. That's loyalty. Don't forget your boy when you make it. When we get these Top Shot millions, bro. I got a JVal dunk card. What can I get for that? What does the market have on JVal? Just search the market. What's the lowest listed? And then I would probably honor that in terms of U.S. currency or something like that. Russ says, I love parfaits. Parfaits. Best tournament plays on FanDuel. Let me revisit that in just about 10 minutes. Parlays are great. Parlays are great. Parlays are fun.
They're fun.
They're fun. You know what's always fun is when someone hits me with like a 10-leg parlay and they hit 9, and then like the one that they miss is always like the lockiest lock ever. like LeBron over 5 real points, hit the under, but everything else was there. Like I don't know. By the way, Prize Picks isn't just exclusive to basketball. You could bet NASCAR, you could bet esports, hockey, stuff like that. So if you have a mind for those sports as well, go for it. Main event tonight for DFS, 10 p.m. Eastern tip-off. It's the Washington Wizards at the Los Angeles Lakers. Project starting 5 for the Wizards. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Garrison Matthews, Rui Hachimura, Mo Wagner taking on LeBron James, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Wesley Matthews, Kyle Kuzma, and Marcus Gasol. 228 is our total. Home team Lakers favored by 7. So LeBron is a thing, 10.4K on both sites. He's in one of the better matchups you could ask for. If we go pull up that team metrics chart in the RunDFS.com NBA VIP spreadsheet, Wizards are one of those teams that finds a wonderful, beautiful DFS balance of pace and less than stellarness on defense. They are bottom 6 in basketball in terms of defensive efficiency, and when it comes to pace, lie detector tests determine they are the fastest. So LeBron James without Anthony Davis in a spot to come out here and drop 50-plus fantasy points. My algorithm is coded to be pretty conservative, Raj, and he's projected at 60 fantasy points. But then the algorithm just doesn't do that often. And if put that into a grand scope of things, if I go to the projections tab, by the way, projections for FanDuel, Yahoo, DraftKings, and Prize Picks accessible if you guys do get that VIP pass. But if I put that in the grand scope of things, LeBron James is currently projected to be this slate's stalling for adjustment. This slate's highest scoring player, according to my algorithm. So at $1,000 cheaper than Luka on DraftKings, I got him projected conservatively to have 2 average points higher than Luka. LeBron James tier 1? Question mark?
Yeah, I mean, you want to start lines with him, with LeBron and Luka together. All the power to you. Like I mentioned, a little harder on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, you can do that with some nice value guys. 1v1, I mean, LeBron, it's the better matchup. The Lakers, though, I mean, even in that Brooklyn game was, I think, lower scoring than expected. Like, their defense was fine. Their offense.
Yeah, no, the game total itself, like, I think both teams had under 100.
So I think the Lakers will slow down Washington. This is the way they're playing, even without AD. Being kind of grinding out defensively. So I see this game coming in under, but LeBron's still doing his thing. So yeah, tier 1 LeBron. I think one other guy, either like Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, KCP for 35 minutes against Washington at that price is intriguing. Not a fun click, but again, it's Washington. So if he hits a couple threes, picks up a couple peripherals, I think he get 8x his price. But Kuzma, Harrell's intriguing. I think last game only played 23 minutes, still got 30 fantasy points, 30 plus. So I'll take that. Kuzma should be the second leading scorer on this team. He can get you 25 real life points against Washington. I'll take it. I'll probably have no Bradley Beal or Westbrook today, though.
So normally I'd bring up the whole Westbrook California narrative, but I think the Lakers are still one of half the teams in the league not allowing people. California's weird like that. They care about health. It's so crazy. Westbrook though, 9-4, 10-1. Let's talk about Westbrook and Beal. If you played them together on the last on their last game, like, it was fantastic. And this is becoming one of those teams where you can put the two players together for 120. The Harden-Kyrie combo, the Kawhi-Paul George. At Portland, again, Portland, one of the best matchups in basketball. Maybe this is more of a case for Porzingis and Luka than anything else. But 61, 52, 56 for Westbrook in his last 3 games. I would take that. 10.1. Like, I would take that. And we have seen some, if Kendrick Nunn, we talked about Kendrick Nunn, right? If Kendrick Nunn can come out here and drop 45 on the Lakers, what Westbrook gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think we should sleep on Westbrook and Bradley Beal just like this, because at 20K, we could get 110 plus fantasy points, maybe even more. Seems like it's not the median range of outcomes, or maybe even like over 40%, but it's still a range of outcome. And on a 6-game slate, I don't want to leave a lot of rocks unturned. I don't want to be thinking too basic. So I do like those two quite a bit. But yeah, LeBron. Let's have a let's have a conversation. Last slate, for value at the guard spot, I was just like, dude, I got Desmond Bane. Give me all the Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane's going to get all the Dylan Brooks minutes. Colin Anderson's out. Desmond Bane can't miss. He's one of the best shooters. He's going to be great. Why would I ever play Wesley Matthews? Why would I ever play KCP when I got Desmond Bane? Well, guess what? Desmond Bane got me 6 fantasy points. Meanwhile, look up KCP and Wesley Matthews. They had relevancy for fantasy. Do we have to have some goldfish memory and realize, hey, this is still Wesley Matthews, this is still KCP, or is there a chance that against the worst defense in basketball, Wesley Matthews can curtain call his 26 with a 24, something like that, just enough. Is there a case that KCP in this pace can pick up enough periffs and maybe a board or two that he could drop 25? I mean, I'm just saying. Is there any way you're throwing KCP and Wesley Matthews in the pool here, both sub 4K?
I think they'll be popular kind of value guys.
I don't think they'll be popular at all. I think that's crazy. But
I think the build, people are going with John Wall, Luka, and LeBron. And when you do that, you're kind of forced to play these guys at the shooting guard position. You know, so yeah. I think they'll pick up so much just because of the way lineups break down. But yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, I'll go more KCP. I think he's been a little more consistent this season. I mean, Wesley Matthews had that big game last game, but KCP still played more than 35 minutes. So if he plays 30 minutes against Washington, he has to get you, I would think, 20 plus. So give me KCP first, then Wesley Matthews. Yeah.
All right, now back pocket tournament play. You ready for this one? We sitting down, chat. Montrezl Harrell. Stay with me. Stay with me. Last 5 centers against the Washington Wizards. Enes Kanter, 34 minutes, 40 fantasy points. Jokic, not fair. If you need to know, he dropped 59 and a quarter. We're not going to compare Harrell to Jokic. The Boogie, 21 and 21, point per minute. Mitchell Robinson broke his effing hand and still hit value in 20 minutes, by the way. 34 DKP in 20 minutes. Montrezl Harrell, man, if you get 25 minutes out of him in this spot, this pace, no matter what, I think 30 plus, 35, I wouldn't be stunned to see a ceiling game of near 40. Like, I think that's in the
more minutes without AD. I'm
right. No, I agree with that. And there's been some games lately where Marcus Hall plays a little bit more minutes, but I think this is like the signature Montrezl Harrell type of game for me. Like, there's a couple centers I love in fast-paced spots. Montrez, Serge Ibaka, if he ever got minutes in a fast-paced spot, Enes Kanter, guys like that. I think there's, first of all, you're super speeding the amount of peripherals potentially there. Secondly, it's a 7-point spread, leaving a little bit of a window for this game to get lopsided. I don't think it will because the Lakers really haven't been smoking teams without AD. But I think Montrezl Harrell is right there in the conversation. So I like him, and with Schroeder out. So, yeah. But LeBron James, tier 1 chat. You guys tier 1. So essentially, is LeBron James your highest owned player today? That's what tier 1 means. That's what tier 1 means.
Him or Luka.
Him or
Luka. You can
Luka.
actually play Luka and LeBron together very easily.
On FanDuel, yes. But I think small forward day to day is usually a little more shallow than point guard. So,
Yeah.
but LeBron's like $1,000 cheaper on DraftKings than Luka, and highest home player for me, maybe. I'm there. Chat. What are you doing with this one? Lasting questions, comments, concerns before we get out of here. Paul says, what ticks me off is Westbrook killing on a minutes limit. Yeah, right. Robin Lopez not showing. Yeah, Rolo's had a couple games here. Matter of fact, that other night, Rolo was the only guy in the winning lineup that I didn't have in my player pool. I don't think I add him to the mix because they have like Wagner, Alex Len, Lopez. Like, you don't actually know what's going on, but I don't think you're out of your mind to bring up that name. But it would take more than 1 to 20 lineups for me to get to Rolo, more than likely. AJ says Morris, huh? Hachimura. I don't play like so. The Dallas Mavericks at full strength when they're that, I'm pretty much just a Luka Porzingis guy. Wizards, I'm usually just a Westbrook Beal guy. Like, I can understand the Rui case here and there. I can definitely understand the Davis Bertans case. Matter of fact, at 4,500 on FanDuel, if you're giving him 10 to 15 shot attempts in a low percentage, but still a percentage of range of outcomes, I understand the shots. But, man, Rui, I just don't ever play Rui, dog. I just don't do it. Not going to be able to do it. But the Lakers, man, you give me Bron, you give me Kuzma, give me Montrez. I can see high ownership to those guys. I'm going to feel like an idiot at the end of the day when I have like KCP and Wesley Matthews 8 points in my top lineup. I already know it, but it is a positive spot. Westbrook LeBron stack. I think that's fine. I don't think Westbrook's as much of a jam in. Like, I do think Westbrook could just drop 45, but I also I think it's a fine correlation wise. I don't mind the run back there. Gun, you have any Frank the Tank? I do not. Mo Wagner revenge game? Sure. So again, I bring it up every time we talk about Mo Wagner, but he is a high fouls per minute type of guy, and going against guys like LeBron that can just drive to the rack, I don't have a lot of hope for Wagner to stay out of foul trouble. But per minute, he can be a problem. But if his minutes are going to mostly match up against Marc Gasol, and then potentially get into some foul issues, I'm probably just going to stay away. But at 3,600, there is a range of outcomes for 25 fantasy points, even better. So I if you had the Jones to play it, I definitely wouldn't talk you off of it. That's it. That's our slate. What's the schedule looking like for tomorrow? And do I have enough time to steal a shower? I got 24 minutes before I got to be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord pre-lock voice chat. I think I do. I think I can. Let me see what tomorrow's slate looking like. So yesterday I thought we would do today's stream at 3, but it turned out first game got postponed for COVID. Tomorrow looks like we're going to have a regular lock. So tomorrow I'm going to aim for 3 again. But if things change, we schedule it here. A lot of early games tomorrow. There's only 2 9 p.m. games. Every other game is at between 6 and 7. And there's some fun games tomorrow. We got the Hawks and Cavs. Pistons going to run it back against the Magic. So another Vucevic 60 bomb, sure. Sixers at the Raptors. Warriors at the Knicks. Celtics at the Mavs, and the Kings and the Nets. That'll be fun. T-Wolves at the Bucks. T-Wolves with a new coach going at Milwaukee. No problems there. Wizards are going to stick around in the Staples Center, so it's a back-to-back without travel. And then the Blazers at the Nuggets. Dame Dollar, post All-Star snub, has to go at Chris Paul, McCall Bridges, then back-to-back into the altitude at Denver. Ooh, that should be fun. Watch people use that against him tomorrow, and he still drops 60. That's gonna be it though. Any interest in Saric? So I've mentioned you guys. I've seen you guys mention Dario Saric a few times. He wasn't on my short list by any stretch. Matchup's fine though. So if you're just looking to chip and chair, maybe 20 minutes of production, I don't think you're crazy. Feels a lot like JaVale McGee to me in terms of minutes and outcome.
I'd rather just play Jay Crowder for 600 more.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, unless something staggering happened where somebody got rolled out, I think that's it. Raj, hottest take you got right now, go.
Hottest take I got right now will be Lillard. I don't know if that's a hot take. Chris Paul is in the winning lineup today.
Eric Gordon dropping 40 fantasy points. Let's go.
Chris Paul, 50 bucks.
Chat, that's going to do it for me, man. I appreciate you guys making me part of your Monday afternoon. A couple hours before main slate lock, I'm going to get out of here and get ready for the pre-lock voice chat. You guys are welcome to come join that. Otherwise, hit that thumbs up on your way out the door if you're heading to some of the other shows. Show some vibes. Good luck out there. God bless. I love you guys. And go win some money.